Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Kanika, your go-to channel for all things tech. Today we are diving into one of the most essential topics in SQL, that is joins. If you have ever worked with the databases, you have probably come across the joins. I know sometimes it can be a bit confusing, but don't worry, I will break it down in a way that it makes sense. But before we go into the details, let me tell you that the most frequent asked question in SQL interviews is about how many rows would be returned in each and different type of joins. Understanding this would help you ace your interview questions. So first we will go into the detail of the joins, understand how and when when we have to apply all type of joins, and then we will solve this popular interview question with a practical example. So let's get started. So what is a SQL join? Imagine you have a list of students in one table and the list of courses the students have enrolled in different table. Now, if you want to find the information on which student is in which course, you need to combine the data from both of these tables. That's what exactly SQL does. It allows you to combine multiple tables based on a related column to retrieve the information. Now there are different type of joins and choosing the right one depends on what you need. So let's go through them one by one. So the first is inner join, or you can say the common ground join. Now we have two tables, courses and students. Let's see the data in both of the tables first. So select star from courses. Let's run this. So we have the course ID, student ID and the course name. Now let's see what we have it in the students table. So we have the student ID and the name of the students. Now, if we use the inner join on both of these tables on the common and the related column, which is student ID, then we will get only the matching records, meaning that we will only see the students who have actually enrolled in the courses. The students who exist in the students table but have not enrolled yet in any of the courses, they will not appear in the result set. So let's perform a join on students and courses like this. Select s dot name. So why I'm writing s dot name? Basically, I'll be using s as an alias for the students table and c as an alias for the courses table. So s dot name, comma c dot course name from students s inner join courses C on. So the related column is student ID. So we will write it like S dot student ID is equals to C dot student ID. Let's run this and here. So we get the name of the students and the course name that they have enrolled in. Now the next is left join, or you can say the all-inclusive join. With a left join, we keep all the records from the left table. So in case, let's say students, and match them up with the right table, which is courses. But we keep all of the data from the left table, which is students, even though we do not find a match from the right table, which is courses, but with the null values for the missing course info. So how we do it? Okay, let me just change it over here by writing the left instead of inner. So everything remains same. We get the student's name, we get the course name from the course table and the student's table respectively, and we perform the left join on the on both of the tables on the same related column, which is student ID. Let's run this. So here you can see we get some of the null values. Let me just pull out the result for you. So here we can see name of all of the students from the students table and the course's name, but with some of the null values. So that means there are still students who have not yet enrolled in the courses. Okay, so now why we use the left join? So basically we use the left join to find out such cases whether we have the students who are not yet enrolled in any of the course. Now to simplify the result, we can just simply add a where condition in here like this, where course name is null. So this will give you the name of the students who are not yet enrolled in the courses. So here, right? So the next step is the right join, or you can say the opposite of the left join. So right join is just like the left join but just flipped. So now let's perform the right join on this. So with the right join, now the data will be like this. So it will have all of the rows or all of the records from the course table, and only the matching students will gonna appear. So for any of the courses, if there are no students enrolled yet, then those course names will not be, those students name will not be appear, but the course name will be. So let's perform and replace the replace the left with the right join. And let me just remove the where condition for now. Let's just comment it out. And if you are talking about the commenting, so you can use the hyphens to comment out in the SQL. So now let's perform the right join on these tables and here. So we get all of the courses name, but we can see there are still nulls in the name. So that means there are still the courses to which none of the students have applied. Now how can we find this? Just with the where clause. So instead of the course name, we can just write the name where the name is none. So we got the course's name as political science, on which like none of the students have enrolled. So now the next is full outer join, or you can say everything everywhere all at once. Now the full outer join brings up all of the data from both of the tables. If there is a match, then it's great. If not, then the missing values will be filled up with the nulls. So just to add a note over here that MySQL does not support the full outer join, but we can still achieve the same result by performing a union on the left join and the right join. So let me just show you how we can do that. Okay, let me just remove this. So we first write the select statement or the select query for the left join. So we will write select s dot name comma c dot course name from students s left join courses c on s dot student id equals to c dot student id, and then we perform a union of of this query with a right join. So union, let me just copy paste it and let me replace the left with the right. Okay, and now just execute this. So we get the results for this. So since I have applied union on this, union will gonna replace all the so union will give you only the unique or the distinct values. So I will be creating another video on union, union all, intersect and others. So stay tuned for that. Now let's jump to the bonus part of this video, which is the most asked SQL interview question on joins, that how many number of rows returned for each type of join. Now to understand this, I have created two tables with a similar type of data, table A and table B. So now let's see what we have it in both of the tables. Select star from table A. So we have column X in table A having 10 rows in total. Now let's see what we have it in table B. So we have similar type of data in table B with the column Y, and we have only 6 rows in table B. Now let's go one by one to each join to see what all how the number of rows returned in each of the join. So let's perform the inner join. So select star from table A as A, inner join table B as B on A dot column X is equals to B dot column Y. Now let's execute this. So here we got the total number of rows as 16. Let me just pull out the result for you. So here we can see that the total number of rows returned is 16. Now let's break it down how we get the 16 records or the 16 rows for the inner join. Now to simplify it, let me again execute the query for table A. Let's see what we have it in table A again. So select star from table A. Alright, so to simplify it, let me just write it down as a comment so that you know whenever we will be doing the calculation, it will be easier to remember. So in table A, we have value A, which is 1 and 2 twice. Value B, we have 1, 2 and 3, okay, thrice. And value C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 4 times. And value D, it's only once. Okay, now let's see what we have in table B. Okay, sorry, yeah. So in table B, let's write it down like same. So we don't have a value in table B, so I'll write it as 0. B appears twice, C also appears twice, and even D also appears twice. Now to get 16 rows for the inner join, you see we have B in table A. So since we all know that for inner join, it only gives you the matching records. So only the records which is present in both of the tables will gonna appear. So now let's see. So since table B does not have A, so it will not gonna give you A as a result. So this will be eliminated. And now for table like rest of the values in both of the table, let's see. So B appears like 3 times in table A and twice in table B. So 3 into 2, let's write it down over here. So 3 into 2 plus, then for C, it appears 4 times in table A and twice again in table B. So you will need to plus 4 into 2. Then again you will add for the D value, which is appearing only once in table A and twice in table B. So it is 1 into 2. Now if you will calculate it, it will gonna be 6 plus 8 plus 2, which is 16. Now let's perform the left join. Let me just replace the inner with the left thing in this query and let's run this. So here we get 18 number of rows. Here you can see I've pulled out the results. So it says 18. Now how we get 18? Again, since in the left join we get all of the records from the table A and only the matching records from table B will gonna be appear. So according to the calculation you will see, so the extra two so all of the records from the inner join will gonna be appear since we have the matching records. But the extra two that we are getting is we are getting from the table A where we got the nulls from the table B. So here you can see for column A, let me just pull out the results. Yeah, so for the column A there is null, right? Okay, now let's see the number of records in the right join. So again, to revise the definition of the right join, it says all of the records from the right table, which is table B, will gonna be appeared, and the values which is not there in the table A, that will be replaced by the null. So let's perform this. And this time we get, okay, this time also we get the 16 rows. Here, can you see? Now, how we get 16 rows again? Let's see. Sorry, let's see it. So, since we will gonna get all of the records from the table B, and only the matching records from table A will gonna be there. So each of the records which is present in table B is already being present in table A. So since we get the same number of records as that of inner join. So this is very simple, just to calculate how many number of records will be getting, or how many number of rows will be getting on each type of join. Practice the SQL question. I'm sure that you will gonna definitely get it in your next interview. Joins are super important in SQL, and I hope this breakdown makes them clearer for you. Try writing some queries yourself to get comfortable with them, and if you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more tech content. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or you want me to cover any of the topics in the next video. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.